Okay, I've got $10 here. All right, someone said come to Sunshine. There's a Dimmies here. Dimmies, always a bargain. And I'm after a bargain. Let's go have a look. I mean, I can't believe this, guys. Seriously, not in my wildest dreams did I think that I would go into Dimmies in Sunshine to try and find a bargain for under $10. Would I come out with a official Manchester City merchandise Ugg boots, brand new? I couldn't believe it. So when I left, I just wanted to know whether they were authentic or not. So I got home, I Googled them, and sure enough, they are authentic. Originally $119, say $40 down to $79.95 online. And I've picked up these beauties. There you are, $9.99. Official Manchester City merchandise. Ugg boots, and I'm a bogan at heart, guys. Beautiful Ugg boots. They are 100% Australian merino wool, water-resistant suede, super soft, comfort, cozy, and warm. And guess what? I don't even barrack for Manchester City. In fact, I don't even follow the English Premier League soccer, but they look brilliant. That is one hell of a bargain. You must admit, I've done well. Where am I going with all this, guys? Where am I going? What I'm trying to say here, there is completely and utterly and absolutely no excuse for our recruiting department not to nail this draft period. And I'm not talking about pick 3 or the pick in the 30s or enough points to secure the Camperwelly twins. I'm talking about if we keep a list spot open and being able to nail, which I like to call, I've called this a while now, a nugget or a diamond in the rough, just like my beautiful Ugg boots. There's no excuses at all. And the rumour is that we'll be quite flexible and give opportunities for delisted players to come on as train-on players, which we've done in the past. And if they impress, we might give them that opportunity. There is a bit of a squeeze on our salary cap, and with TDK still to be signed, yeah, I think it's quite tight at the football club, and we are going down this slightly different avenue. We never end up going after Dan Houston. And when you put so much money and resources into a certain sector of your playing list, and we've got some absolute superstars who are on big money, you just have to nail these bargain pickups. You just have to. There's no excuse. If this is the strategy you're going to take. So I'll be really interested to have a look at what players are invited to participate in our pre-season training at the prospect of becoming a Carlton Football Club player in 2025. I'm just going to talk about a couple of players, only because one we've been linked to, and the other one is a player I actually really like. So I'm going to share those with you. Nick Austin, quite interesting in this space. I think he gets a tick. And I'm talking about rookies, SSP, mid-season draft pickups, Category B rookies. You're sort of sort of bargain basement type arrangement. So since he's been at the football club since the start of 2020, this is what he's done with rookies, SSPs, mid-season draft, category B. I hope I haven't missed anyone out here. I'm giving him ticks for the following players. Jordan Boyd, you have to give him a tick. Mid-season draft pickup. You have to give a tick to Alex Chincotta. Although Jordan Boyd and Alex Chincotta, I think 2025 becomes a really important year for both of those players. I think they've got great physical attributes, speed and power, and we know Boyd's a pretty good kick. But whether they are good enough to project us forward, can they go from, say, C graders to B graders, is something I am very interested in seeing in 2025. But you have to give Austin a tick because both of those boys have played pretty good roles over the last couple of years. And I think the early stages and signs of Cooper Lord are really promising. And I know he's only played, he played 2 or 3 games, but he looks to be a player. But it's still very early, so he gets half a tick. And I think Ed Curnow, I know he was on our list and we delisted him, pick him up as a rookie in 2023 for his final season. He played 17 games that year, which wasn't a bad thing considering he provided a heap of leadership and enthusiasm around the football club. So they're the positives with Nick Austin going to the mid-season draft and also with the SSP and rookies. These are the bombs. Alex Murkoff, Will Hayes, Luke Parks, Oscar McDonald, mostly around his body, Dom McHugh, 3 years as a Category B rookie, and Sam Durden's still at the football club. Well, he hasn't been delisted yet, Willie, but he's played 2 games in 2.5 seasons, which is a poor return. And you'd have to chuck Lockie O'Brien into that mix as well. He was another player that was delisted and picked up as a rookie and then delisted again. And question marks on Hudson O'Keefe, although he signed a 2-year contract this year to remain at Princes Park. Matt Carroll, who he picked up as a rookie last year. Didn't play a game at all, had hip concerns. And Rob Monahan and Matt Duffy as Category B rookies. Monahan played the full season in the VFL last year, and I must admit, I would have thought if he was playing locally at, say, Keilor in the Essendon District Football League Premier League under Mick McGuan, he'd be lucky to get a game. But it was a development year for Rob Monahan, and Matt Duffy obviously did his ACL and will come back to the football club this year. So they're miles off. Well, Rob Monahan is miles off. So I'm giving Austin a tick, but he has to nail this one. He really does. So I'm really interested to see which way he goes. I hope this is my criteria. I hope the player they go after is durable. So no previous injury concerns or consistent injury concerns. I hope they go after someone who is pretty much ready to play at any opportunity, someone who's going to put genuine pressure on players in the position that they play, a player that can come to the football club and help the our VFL program, which is, I think, an absolute shambles, a VFL program, and it needs to improve. Someone with a very, very good attitude, a really positive attitude for the football club, and someone who's quite versatile as well. I think there's some areas that we need to bolster. Down back is an area that we probably need to look into. But any part of the ground, really, that these players could help in, that's what we're probably looking at here. So the 2 players I want to talk about. The first one is DGB, Denver Granger Barras, who was delisted by Hawthorn last week after around about 4 years at the football club. The other one who was delisted as well, who have been slightly linked to, is Ethan Phillips. He's a bit older than Granger Barras, a bit taller and probably a bit stronger. But I'm going to talk about Granger Barras rather than Ethan Phillips. But it wouldn't surprise me if both get an opportunity to come and train on with us. Granger Barras, 22 years of age, originally from Swan Districts, 194 centimetres, probably more your third tall defender rather than a sort of brute. Formerly a number 6 draft pick back in 2020, and I reckon a pretty underwhelming draft. It was the COVID-affected draft. It was the pick the same draft that Elijah Hollins went at pick 7. We gave up pick number 8, which went out to pick 10 to the Bombers for Adam Sard, and they picked up Zach Reed. Other players that went in that draft, we got Corey Durden at 37, Jack Carroll at 41. We took Luke Parks as a rookie. So there's another one that I didn't mention that was probably a bomb, Luke Parks. And we picked up Oscar McDonald as an SSP. Now, it never really got going for Denver Granger Barras at the Hawthorn Football Club. Showed some really good signs early in his first year. Played 16 games in his second year, but his first few games were really promising and looked like a player, but was one of those types of players that showed a lot of promise early, but then just for whatever reason, just fell away. And we've seen that with high draft picks at our football club as well. They come in, there's a real spike, and then they just never quite live up to the reputation. What I will say, he's not coming, if he does come to our football club, he's not coming as a number 6 draft pick. He's coming as a rookie, and that's the way we should see it. So 28 games in 4 seasons at Hawthorn, played 5 in his first, which was interrupted by injury, his first year, 16 in his second, 7 in his third, and didn't play a game in the seniors this year for Hawthorn. After hurting, I'll get to his injuries shortly. He's had a couple, not of major concern. So 32 games for the VFL across 4 seasons for the Box Hill Hawks, played 13 in total in 2024. And this year, played a combination of both backline and forward line for the Box Hill Hawks without, I must say, a great deal of success if you're going by his numbers. His injuries, hurt his knee in the last practice match of his first season at Hawthorn. So he had a delayed start, didn't make his debut until round 15. He was actually subbed off in his first game with concussion. And I suppose the big one was this year in the pre-season when Hawthorn had that just awful run of key defenders that went down with injury. He did his toe. He had turf toe in February and kept him out, had surgery on it and kept him out for 12 weeks. So played most of the year in the VFL. I'm just going to go back to his strengths in his draft year. So these are the things when he came in that was noticed by the recruiters and the experts out there. His reading of the play, had high footy IQ, his intercept marking, vertical leap, so good athlete, agility, defensive versatility, which is a good one really because of the ability to play both tall and small, although reading Hawthorn supporters' comments and opinions on Denver Granger Barras is he's not a great one-on-one defender against bigger bodies, which is understandable at 194 centimetres, and he's not a big, he's a wiry type defender rather than being a brute. And he had good composure as an under 18 player, which is good. I like to see that good composure by foot and the ability to make good decisions. And his weaknesses, and I think this has probably been a weakness right up until now at 22 years of age, is his strength and his offensive output. That was a knock in his draft year. And looking at his numbers in the VFL this year, 13 VFL games in 2024, he averaged only 10.7 disposals a game and 4.7 marks. So if he does come to us, he doesn't come with a massive body of work, but I suppose the age and the athletic profile and the fact that he could fill a need for us, it could be an option. Although we have been able to secure Haynes from the GWS Giants. He's a similar type player, you would think. So I'm interested to see how that one's going to pan out. So that's Denver, Granger, Barrass. And I'll repeat, he's not coming to our football club as a number 6 draft pick. He will be coming in as a rookie. And the other one is Ethan Phillips, the other player that was delisted by the Hawks, a bigger type defensive, bigger bodied defender. He was picked up in the SSP last year for Hawthorn, and I think only played the one game. He came across from the Oakley Chargers and played at Port Melbourne. I can't tell you a hell of a lot about him. The other boy, which I want to talk about, and he kind of excites me, but there must be something about him which didn't impress the West Coast Eagles while he was there, because you would think, why would you want to delist a 21-year-old, 194 centimetre hybrid forward who can play midfield after an ACL injury where it seems he came back to full strength? And I'm talking about Jai Culley, who is from Victoria, from the Dandenong Stingrays. As I mentioned, 194 centimetres, was a Rising Star nominee for the West Coast Eagles in his first year, was his second season, picked up in the mid-season draft in 2022, and then was a Rising Star nominee in 2023. So yeah, did his ACL in round 8 of 2023, just when it looked like he was ready to shine. He really did. Kicked 4 goals, I think, in a game against either Adelaide or Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. It's that sort of like Bailey Fritsch type forward, just really mobile, good overhead, nice kick, left footer, and then signed a 1-year deal to remain at the Eagles after he did his ACL, but it didn't work out for him this year. He got back, played 3 games this year, round 14, 20 and 21, and these are his stats at waffle level in 2024 after recovering from his ACL. He played 10 games, and these are not too shabby, guys. He averaged 21.4 disposals and 5.5 tackles a game, including laying a combined 25 tackles in his last 2 games as a forward and midfielder. So they're pretty good numbers. I've got no doubt he'll get another opportunity. He has to at an AFL club. And will he get the opportunity with us? I'd like to see maybe a couple of players as train on for us, if that's the way we're going to go. If it's Granger, Barrass, then so be it. But there's something about this Jai Culley that I really like. I really like what I've seen so far. And if you haven't been struck down by an ACL injury, I reckon he probably would have remained at the West Coast Eagles. There's been some massive changes there, obviously, over the last 12 months or so. Players coming in and players going out. They've done a heap of delisting. So I'd be interested, Hawthorn supporters out there, I know there's a few that follow this channel. I'd love to know your thoughts on Granger Barrass. I know you were happy with him in his first year, maybe his second season, but it's just fallen away. And any Eagles supporters out there as well, Jai Culley, I've read that he's a tad slow if he plays as an inside mid, but I'll be thinking, you know, if he came to Carlton, he'd be playing more as that mobile sort of third tall. Would that be out of the question? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Speak soon.